Hey everybody, welcome to the show. First up, the US military, bigger than the next 10 countries combined. 11 aircraft carriers, almost as many as the rest of the world put together. But here's the wildest part. Thule Air Base in Greenland. It's the US's northernmost top-secret base, buried under Arctic ice. Its job? Detect incoming ballistic missiles from halfway around the world. Imagine being stationed there, just you, the ice, and the world's most high-stakes radar. It's like Santa's workshop, but with missile warnings instead of toys. Most of us have no idea it even exists. It's a silent guardian, watching from the top of the world. These aren't just soldiers and tanks, it's science fiction-level installations in the most remote places on Earth. A secret city under the ice, quietly doing its thing. Absolutely mind-boggling. The scale of these operations is just unreal. Let's move on before I start looking for real estate in Greenland. Let's rewind to the Middle Ages, when cats got blamed for the plague. People thought black cats were evil, so they got rid of them. With fewer cats, rats multiplied, and those rats carried fleas with the Black Death. Trying to fight superstition, they accidentally unleashed a real plague. Next time you see a black cat, give it some respect. They were the heroes we didn't deserve. Now Vikings. Picture the horned helmet, right? Total myth. Not a single horned Viking helmet has ever been found. The idea came from a costume designer for an opera in the 1800s. For over a century, we've imagined fierce warriors with impractical headgear. Can you imagine fighting with giant horns on your head? You'd get stuck in a doorway. History is often stranger and less dramatic than we think. Sometimes the truth is even weirder than the legend. So, cats weren't villains and Vikings weren't horned. Let's keep busting those myths. Let's fly to Argentina, the birthplace of the world's first feature-length animated film. In 1917, Carino Cristiani released El Apostol, decades before Disney's Snow White. Sadly, the film was lost in a fire, but Argentina got there first. And that's not all. Argentina is also home to the largest dinosaur ever discovered, Patagonaton majorum. This giant was as long as a blue whale and weighed as much as a dozen elephants. Its thigh bone was taller than most people. From pioneering animation to prehistoric giants, Argentina's history is full of surprises. It's a land of pioneers and giants, who knew? Gives you a whole new appreciation for the place. Let's get scientific, starting with the human heart. The first artificial heart, the Jarvik 7, was implanted in 1982. Huge, noisy, and not a long-term fix. Today, we have fully implantable devices that let patients live normal lives. It's a testament to human ingenuity. What seemed like science fiction is now reality. Now zoom in closer, our DNA. Any two people on Earth are 99.9% genetically identical. All our differences, languages, cultures, appearances, fit into just 0.1% of our genetic code. It's a powerful reminder. We're almost exactly the same at our core. We share a fundamental blueprint. It's humbling and connecting. Science shows us how much we have in common. We're all running on the same operating system, just with different user preferences. That's pretty miraculous. Bears, nature's superheroes. Polar bears are nearly invisible to thermal cameras. Their fur traps almost all their body heat. It's like wearing a stealth suit in the snow. Now, grizzly bears built for speed. They can run up to 35 miles per hour, faster than Usain Bolt. Imagine being outrun by a half-ton predator. One bear is a thermal ghost, the other a world-class sprinter. Nature engineers some wild superpowers. The animal kingdom is full of these incredible abilities. Just admire them from a safe distance. Seriously, a very safe distance. Bears are awesome, but let's keep it on YouTube. On to the next fact. Ancient Rome's ultimate status symbol? Purple. Tyrian purple dye was worth more than gold, made from crushing thousands of sea snails for a single gram. Only emperors could afford a fully purple toga. It was the original designer label. Now dreams. We all have them, but they vanish fast. During REM sleep, our brains shut down the systems that create long-term memories. It's like the brain is in creative mode, but the save button is off. Our wildest adventures are designed to be forgotten by morning. Dreams are personal, fleeting movies, made for an audience of one. There's a magic in that. We're all storytellers in our sleep, even if we never remember the tales. Welcome to Vatican City, the only place with ATMs in Latin. Need cash? You can withdraw euros in the language of ancient Rome. It's a quirky blend of tradition and tech. Now, Pope's the youngest ever was Pope Benedict XVI, who took the throne as a teenager, maybe as young as 11 or 12. Imagine a preteen running the Catholic Church. His papacy was so chaotic he was kicked out and came back multiple times. He even sold the papacy at one point. History is full of wild stories like this. The Vatican is a place where ancient meets modern and sometimes just plain weird. It's trivia gold, only in the Vatican, only in history. Let's keep going. Time for some mysteries. 1908 Siberia. A massive explosion flattened 80 million trees, no crater, no meteorite, just a flattened forest and a giant question mark. Scientists think a meteor exploded in the air, but no one knows for sure. It's one of history's greatest unsolved cases. Now, the Nazca lines in Peru, giant geoglyphs etched into the desert, only visible from the sky. Some are over 1,200 feet long, depicting animals and shapes. Why did ancient people make them when they couldn't even see them from the ground? Messages to the gods? Astronomical calendars? No one knows. The Nazca lines remain a beautiful, baffling mystery. Silent artworks speaking a language we haven't cracked. The world is full of questions with no answers, and that's what makes it fascinating. On to the next marvel. The Great Wall of China. Everyone says it's visible from space. Total myth. Astronauts confirm you can't see it from orbit with the naked eye. The myth started before anyone went to space and just stuck. The wall is still an engineering marvel, just not a cosmic landmark. Now, Stonehenge, those blue stones came from 180 miles away in Wales. No wheels, no advanced machinery, just sheer human determination. How did they do it? Sledges, logs, rafts, maybe all three. The real story is more impressive than any myth. Stonehenge is a monument to what people can achieve together. Sometimes the truth is even more incredible than the legend. Human willpower built wonders. And the real story is worth telling. Let's wrap up with some famous faces. Let's talk about Nikola Tesla, brilliant inventor, but terrified of pearls. He refused to speak to women wearing them and once sent his secretary home for wearing a pearl necklace. No one knows why, but it's a reminder that even geniuses have their quirks. Now, Cleopatra. She lived closer to the first Pizza Hut than to the building of the Great Pyramid. The pyramid was built around 2560 BC. Cleopatra lived around 30 BC. Pizza Hut opened in 1958. The gap between Cleopatra and the pyramid is over 2,500 years. Less time separates her from us than from the ancient builders. History isn't one big lump, it's a sprawling, surprising timeline. The pyramids were ancient ruins even to Cleopatra. It messes with your sense of time. What will people think of us in 2,000 years? Maybe they'll be as baffled by our pizza as we are by pyramids. History is full of surprises, and so are the people in it. First up, the US military, home to some of the most powerful machines ever built. With a defense budget that dwarfs most other nations combined, the scale and reach of American military power is almost hard to comprehend. From land, sea, to air, the US military is designed to project force anywhere on the planet at a moment's notice. The A-10 Warthog isn't just a plane, it's a flying cannon. Its legendary GAU-8 Avenger gun fires so fast, the recoil can actually slow the plane down. This beast was built for one purpose, to obliterate tanks and armored vehicles, and it does that job with terrifying efficiency. Pilots fire in quick bursts. Any longer, and the plane could stall mid-air. That's how much raw power is packed into this aircraft. The sound of its gun alone is enough to send shivers down the spine of anyone on the receiving end. Now, aircraft carriers, Nimitz-class carriers are nuclear-powered, can go 20 years without refueling and house 5,000 people plus 90 aircraft. These floating fortresses are the backbone of American naval power, able to launch airstrikes, coordinate missions, and provide humanitarian aid anywhere in the world. Imagine a floating city that never needs to stop for gas. Life aboard is a mix of intense military operations and daily routines, with everything from gyms to movie nights to keep morale high during months at sea. But the scariest, the Trident II D-5 missile. One submarine can carry 24 of these, each with up to 8 nuclear warheads. Each warhead can hit a different city. These submarines are designed to disappear beneath the waves, ready to strike from anywhere at any time. That's enough firepower to change the world in minutes. The destructive potential is almost unimaginable. One submarine could end civilization as we know it. It's both a marvel of engineering and a chilling reminder of our destructive potential. The science and precision behind these weapons is awe-inspiring, but their purpose is sobering. The technology is mind-blowing, but the stakes are sky-high. Every button, every code, every decision carries the weight of unimaginable consequences. The U.S. military, ultimate power, ultimate responsibility. With such strength comes the duty to use it wisely, and the hope that it's never unleashed in full. It's like having a pet dragon. Awesome, but you really hope it never sneezes. The sheer scale of destruction is both fascinating and terrifying. Let's move on before things get too apocalyptic. Next up, medieval warfare, where battles were fought face to face and power looked very different. Forget chivalry. Medieval warfare was all about creativity, cunning, and honestly, a whole lot of grossness. The stories you've heard about knights in shining armor and noble duels barely scratch the surface of what really happened on those muddy, chaotic battlefields. In reality, survival meant using every trick in the book, no matter how bizarre or revolting. Besieging a castle? Sure, you'd use a trebuchet, but not just for rocks. Medieval engineers were masters of improvisation, turning these massive machines into tools of terror. Commanders launched plague-ridden animals, even human heads, to spread disease and terror. The goal wasn't just to break walls, but to break spirits. Imagine the horror of seeing disease-ridden bodies flying through the air toward your home. Sometimes they'd catapult beehives. Imagine defending your home while being swarmed by angry bees. The chaos and confusion these tactics caused could turn the tide of a siege in moments. And then there was Greek fire, a mysterious, unquenchable liquid weapon that burned even on water. It was the stuff of nightmares for enemy sailors who watched helplessly as flames raced across the waves. Its recipe is still a secret, lost to history. Alchemists and scholars have tried for centuries to recreate it, but no one has ever truly succeeded. Medieval battles were less about honor, more about psychological warfare and desperation. Fear, confusion, and intimidation were just as important as swords and shields. Next time you picture knights, add a sky full of diseased cows, burning pitch and fire that won't go out. The battlefield was a place of constant innovation and horror. War was messy, smelly, and terrifying. The aftermath left soldiers exhausted, wounded, and forever changed by what they'd seen and done. Humans have always found wild, unexpected ways to win. Sometimes the strangest ideas were the most effective. Let's see what Argentina brought to the table. Onward! Argentina, famous for tango steak and forensic science? In 1892, Argentina solved the world's first crime using fingerprint evidence, revolutionizing detective work forever. Fast forward to the Falklands War. Argentine engineers hot-wired French missiles to work without the original codes, sinking a British destroyer. It was pure ingenuity, brains over budget. From pioneering forensics to hacking military tech, Argentina proves innovation can come from anywhere. Sometimes the underdog outsmarts the giant. Let's jump to the present for some science that feels like magic. 8. Today's science is yesterday's magic. CRISPR lets us edit DNA, potentially curing genetic diseases by fixing the code of life itself. Brain-computer interfaces are turning thoughts into actions, helping paralyzed people move cursors or type just by thinking. The line between human and machine is blurring fast. And then there's aerogel, the world's lightest solid, 99.8% air, yet an incredible insulator used on Mars. These breakthroughs are happening now, not in some distant future. We're living in an age where the impossible is becoming reality. What will we see in the next decade? Science is rewriting the rules. Next, let's get weird, with bears. Bears, majestic, mysterious, and seriously strange. During hibernation, their heart rate drops to just 8 beats per minute, and they don't eat, drink, or lose muscle for months. Scientists are studying this for medical breakthroughs, like helping bedridden patients or astronauts. Bears also have bear trees, social hubs where they leave scent messages like a furry Facebook. Polar bears? Their fur isn't white, it's transparent, and their skin is black to absorb heat. Nature's engineering at its finest. Bears are more than lumbering giants. They're social, adaptable, and full of surprises. The animal kingdom's coolest oddballs. Now let's turn the lens on ourselves. Humans, record breakers, oddballs, and endlessly inventive. Someone once wore 260 t-shirts at once just to set a record. We celebrate the weirdest achievements, longest fingernails, loudest burp, even marshmallow nose blowing. Our quirks go deeper, like the photic sneeze reflex, where sunlight makes 1 in 4 people sneeze. Scientists call it Achoo syndrome. Seriously. And the placebo effect? Sugar pills can actually make us feel better, especially if they're expensive or a certain color. Our minds are powerful and our bodies are full of strange bugs. We're all a little weird, and that's what makes us fascinating. Next, let's visit the Vatican for some holy trivia. Vatican City. Tiny but packed with secrets. Its museums hold 70,000 artworks. Seeing them all would take years. The Pope Mobile? There's a whole fleet, from open-air rides to bulletproof bubbles, all with the license plate SCV1. The Vatican even has the world's only ATM in Latin. It's a place where ancient tradition meets modern quirks. A spiritual center, a museum, and a country, all in one. The Vatican is proof that even the smallest places can hold the biggest stories. Now let's unravel some unsolved mysteries. 10. Some stories just don't add up. The Dyatlov Pass incident, 9 hikers, a slashed tent, fatal injuries with no external wounds, and radioactive clothes. No theory fits all the facts. Then there's the WOW signal, a 72-second radio burst from space in 1977, never heard again. Was it aliens? A cosmic fluke? We still don't know. These mysteries remind us the universe is full of questions with no easy answers. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Ready for some secrets hidden in plain sight? Let's explore the world's greatest monuments. 9. Our monuments are more than stone. They're full of secrets. The Statue of Liberty's skin is thinner than 2 pennies and was once copper brown, not green. The Great Sphinx of Giza hides unexplored chambers beneath its paws. No one knows what's inside. Mount Rushmore has a secret room behind Lincoln's head, sealed with a granite capstone, holding America's founding documents in a titanium vault. These landmarks are time capsules, hiding stories and mysteries for future generations. Next time you visit, remember, there's more than meets the eye. Now let's meet the geniuses behind history's greatest stories. History's icons weren't just brilliant, they were weird too. Their quirks and eccentricities are as legendary as their achievements, reminding us that genius often comes with a twist. After Einstein died, his brain was stolen by the pathologist, kept in a jar for decades, and mailed in pieces to researchers. The journey of Einstein's brain became almost as famous as the man himself, sparking endless curiosity and debate. Did it reveal the secret of genius? Not really, just a lot of mystery. Scientists hoped for answers, but instead found only more questions, and the legend of Einstein's mind grew even stranger. Leonardo da Vinci wrote his notes in mirror script, possibly to keep secrets or just because it was easier as a lefty. His notebooks are filled with sketches and ideas that still inspire awe, showing a mind always thinking outside the box. These quirks make legends feel human, eccentric, complex, and endlessly fascinating. Their odd habits and playful moments remind us that even the greatest minds had their peculiarities. Behind every great mind is a story stranger than fiction. The oddities and mysteries surrounding these icons add depth to their genius, making their stories unforgettable. Genius and weirdness often go hand in hand. It's the combination of brilliance and eccentricity that sets these figures apart from the rest. And that's why we're still talking about them today. Their stories continue to captivate us, proving that sometimes being a little odd is part of what makes someone unforgettable. Welcome to the show. Today we're diving into the wild and wonderful worlds of Canada and the UK. Get ready for mind-blowing facts. Think millions of lakes, a famous clock tower mix-up, and police uniforms straight out of a movie. Grab your poutine or tea, get comfy, and let's jump in. Canada isn't just about snow and maple syrup. It's the land of lakes. 60% of all the world's lakes are in Canada. That's over 2 million lakes. If you visited a new lake every day, it would take you more than 5,000 years to see them all. That's more lakes than most countries have people. So next time you think of Canada, picture endless, shimmering water. It's basically the world's biggest and coldest swimming pool. Just don't try to swim them all. Canadians aren't just polite, they're the most educated people on Earth. Over half of Canadian adults have higher education more than anywhere else. Your barista might have a PhD and the bus driver could be an engineer. It's like living in a country-sized study group. So, next time you meet a Canadian, remember they're probably smarter than you think. Nice and nerdy, what a combo. Canada's money is as quirky as its people. Their $1 coin is called the loonie because it has a loon, a bird on it. The $2 coin, the toonie, because why not? The loon wasn't even the original plan, but Canadians loved it so much it stuck. Now, loonie and toonie are just part of everyday language. It's the only place you'll pay for coffee with birds. Bird money, only in Canada. Quick, what's the capital of Canada? If you said Toronto or Vancouver, you're not alone. The real answer is Ottawa, chosen by Queen Victoria in 1857 as a compromise between English and French Canada. Ottawa sits on the border of Ontario and Quebec, making it neutral ground. It's full of beautiful government buildings and the world's largest skating rink in winter. So next time, impress your friends. It's Ottawa, not Toronto. Now you're a geography genius. You're welcome. Meet the Mounties, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Their red jackets and Stetson hats are iconic, but they only wear them for special occasions. The RCMP started in 1873 to police the wild frontiers and became legendary symbols of Canadian integrity. Today, they're more likely to drive a car than ride a horse, but the tradition lives on. The Mountie uniform is recognized worldwide. If you ever see the musical ride, don't miss it. It's history in motion. Only in Canada. London isn't just one city. It's a sprawling patchwork of 32 unique boroughs, each with its own distinct personality, history, and rhythm. From the leafy streets of Richmond to the bustling markets of Hackney, every corner of London feels like a world unto itself. These boroughs are more than just administrative divisions. They're living, breathing communities, each with their own traditions, accents, and even local rivalries. It's this diversity that gives London its unmistakable energy and makes it feel like dozens of cities rolled into one. And right in the very heart of this urban tapestry, the City of London, a tiny ancient square mile that's unlike anywhere else in the capital. It's so unique it even has its own mayor, known as the Lord Mayor, and its own dedicated police force separate from the rest of London. This small area is steeped in centuries of tradition, with rituals and customs that date back to medieval times. The City of London is the original Roman core of the metropolis, founded nearly 2,000 years ago as Londinium. Over the centuries, it's transformed from a fortified Roman settlement into the beating financial heart of the United Kingdom. Today, it's home to some of the world's most powerful banks, insurance companies, and trading floors, all packed into this compact, history-soaked district. So you can find yourself standing in London, and with just a few steps, also be in the City of London. Two places at once, each with its own identity, rules, and even its own crest. It's a city within a city, layered with centuries of stories and secrets. It's a bit like a Russian nesting doll, or maybe a city inside a city inside a city. The boundaries are subtle, but the shift in atmosphere is unmistakable. One moment you're in a lively neighborhood full of street art and cafes, the next you're surrounded by towering offices and ancient stone. Despite its global importance, only about 9,000 people actually call the City of London home. But every weekday the population swells as over 500,000 workers pour in, making it one of the busiest business districts in the world. By night, the city empties out, its streets growing quiet until the next morning's rush. London truly is the ultimate city turducken, a metropolis made up of countless layers, each with its own flavor, history, and surprises. Whether you're a visitor or a lifelong Londoner, there's always another layer to discover. The British love tea. No, they're obsessed. It's not just a drink here. It's a way of life, woven into the very fabric of daily routines and social customs. From the moment the sun rises, the comforting aroma of brewing tea drifts through homes, offices, and even train stations. For many, the day simply doesn't start until that first sip of tea. The UK drinks a staggering 165 million cups of tea every single day. That's enough to fill over 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools every day. It's a number so huge it's almost hard to imagine, but for the British, it's just another normal day. That's over 60 billion cups a year, an amount that could circle the globe if you lined them up. It's a tradition that's been passed down for generations, and it shows no sign of slowing down. On average, that's more than 2 cups per person per day. But for many, it's much more. Some Brits can't imagine getting through the day without at least 4 or 5 cups. Tea is the answer to everything, whether you're celebrating, commiserating, or just taking a break from the hustle and bustle. It's the go-to solution for every situation, big or small. Good news, bad news, or just because there's always a reason to put the kettle on. Tea brings people together, offering comfort, warmth, and a moment to pause and connect. The kettle is the most used appliance in any British home. It's switched on countless times a day, always ready to deliver that next perfect cup. In fact, during major TV events, the national grid even prepares for a surge in electricity as millions of kettles are switched on during commercial breaks. Whether it's a fancy afternoon tea with delicate pastries and finger sandwiches, or a quick cuppa grab between meetings, tea is a daily ritual that adapts to every lifestyle and occasion. If you visit a British home, you'll be offered tea, no exceptions. It's a gesture of hospitality, a way to make you feel welcome and at ease. Always say yes, even if it's just a small cup. It's part of the experience. In the UK, tea is more than just a beverage. It's a warm, caffeinated hug in a mug, a symbol of comfort, community, and the simple joys of everyday life. Think there's just one British accent? Think again. The UK is a theme park of accents. Scouse, Geordie, Brummie, Cockney, and more. You can drive 30 minutes and hear a totally different way of speaking. London alone has hundreds of languages and dozens of English accents. It's like traveling through a dozen countries without leaving the island. Every accent tells a story. Listen closely. You know Big Ben? Surprise, it's not the clock or the tower. Big Ben is actually the nickname for the giant bell inside the tower. The tower itself is called the Elizabeth Tower, renamed in 2012. So next time you're in London, you're looking at the Elizabeth Tower, not Big Ben. Now you've got a killer trivia fact to impress your friends. Go ahead, correct someone with confidence. The secret's out. King Charles III isn't just the king of the United Kingdom. He's a monarch with a truly global reach. While most people think of Buckingham Palace and the British Isles when they hear his name, his royal duties and influence stretch far beyond the borders of the UK. In fact, King Charles III wears many metaphorical crowns, each representing a different nation that recognizes him as their sovereign. He's also the King of Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and several other countries, all of which are known as the Commonwealth realms. These nations, though independent and self-governing, have chosen to keep a special connection to the British monarchy. It's a fascinating arrangement, one king but many countries, each with its own identity and traditions. In each of these countries, King Charles III is recognized as the official monarch, but his role isn't exactly the same everywhere. He holds separate titles and fulfills unique ceremonial duties in each nation. For example, in Australia, he's known as the King of Australia, while in Canada, he's the King of Canada. These aren't just honorary titles. They reflect the distinct constitutional relationships each country has with the crown. Take Canada, for instance. Canada has its own government, its own laws, and its own prime minister. Yet the king remains the symbolic head of state, represented in Canada by the Governor-General. This means that while the day-to-day running of the country is handled by Canadians, the king's presence is felt in important ceremonies, official documents, and even the opening of Parliament. That's why, if you take a close look at Canadian money, you'll spot King Charles III's face right there on the coins, often sharing space with iconic Canadian symbols like the loon. It's a reminder of the country's unique blend of independence and tradition, and of the enduring link to the monarchy. This arrangement creates a fascinating connection between countries that are thousands of miles apart. Despite the vast distances, they share a common thread in the person of the king. It's a relationship that's both historical and modern, rooted in centuries of tradition, but constantly evolving to reflect the values and identities of each nation. The monarchy, in this sense, is truly global, a family of nations united not by geography, but by shared history and a common figurehead. From grand royal celebrations to everyday life, the king's influence can be seen in subtle and not-so-subtle ways across the Commonwealth. So, whether he's attending a state banquet in London, meeting leaders in Ottawa, or waving to crowds in Sydney, King Charles III is more than just a British monarch. He's an international man of monarchy, connecting people and traditions across continents. And that's a wrap! 10 wild facts about Canada and the UK, from lakes to tea, bird money to Big Ben. Which fact blew your mind? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Stay curious and see you next time.